Okay, so here's this amp. Technically it's a bass amp from the 60s. It's a Gibson Atlas IV. The ad's going to be for the head and the cabinet. It has 115. In this particular case, the head takes the output transformer, it takes a 16 ohm. It's to be paired with a 16 ohm speaker. So I went and found an early 60s D140 bass speaker, because technically, like I said, it's a bass speaker, bass amp. So you'll see some still photos of that. But anyway, you can see here that on the front there's two inputs. There is a loudness, a bass, a treble, and then serial number here is is stamped on the face of the face of the chassis here, which is 707052. 707052. Okay, so then the way this amp works here is it has this, right now it's on off, has a standby, which is that yellow, and then it has two on positions for reversing the polarity. The fuse is a 2 amp slow blow. This thing is retrofitted, well, it's not retrofitted. The amp takes two 6L6 in the power amp section, which I have, let's see, get the glare off of that. There's a brand new set of matched Sovtek 6L6 5881s. Then in the preamp section, it takes a GC4 and two 6EU7s, which are also new Sovtek. I'm not sure what the 6C4 was, but I will include. I have the 3 preamp tubes I'll send along that I had when that were in the thing. Had some issues that I'll get into. All right, so let's spin this thing around and look at the back. Here is the power transformer. There's the choke. Around this shield here in the back is where the power tubes, two 6L6 like I said, and then there's your preamp tubes, and there's your output transformer. I have crafted kind of an old school looking speaker cable with old parts. I'm not sure if that's the original configuration for how they do the jack. Looks like it could be. The inside doesn't look like it's been mangled at all. The trim screws and washers are on this left side. This amp has 2 rear panels as opposed to 1, and the reason they did that is to get this. It's got a, you could piggyback sort of pole, as opposed to the 2 side brackets that a fender would use. So supposedly you would lean this thing back. All right, but on this back panel, the second back panel, the screws are basically new drywall fine thread screws that I put in there. So on one side you got what looks to be original to me, and the other side I may have them somewhere, I just couldn't find them. I was putting the thing back together. Okay, so some of the issues are going to be the convenience outlet here obviously is broken. I wouldn't use it anyway, but you could with a 2-prong. I don't know if you wanted to put a light on there or something. And this grommet, the rubber grommet, is missing. I think that I put this I'm sure originally it was just a 2-prong, just like the convenience outlet, but I put a 3-prong outlet on there, and that may be where the grommet got lost. I suppose it could be put back on. I'm not going to do it though. You could do it if it's a big deal to you. The other issue is it's got these little suitcase brackets, and the other part of it that actually attaches to the amp is missing. So I think it was just a basically a plate with a bar on it that would receive the bar would receive this thing here and tighten up, but it's missing from the amp. Looks to be original handles. Casters, while they're not original Gibson casters, they're off of something old. I think it's off an old Fender Super Reverb or something. Okay, so that's the basic overview of the amp. I'll get into playing some guitars and talking about some of the things that was wrong with it, that I replaced and fixed. So it's actually looks cool. It sounds killer. The 15-inch D140 at 16 ohms is just kind of a British way to go. It's always get nice feedback with that D series 15-inch JBL. Okay, so let me get some guitars going. Toby Gorilla got a bass, it's a fretless bass, a Fender body and a custom neck, gold trim. Okay, the amp that we're showing you is, like I said before, the Gibson Atlas IV 115. Basically a 40-45 watt amp, 2 6L6 and 3 preamp tubes. I'm going to put the thing on loudness about, I don't know, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass on about 5, 6, and just notched back to about 4, 4.5 on the treble. Take it off standby. I'd say it's kind of got that Ampeg sound and feel to it, like the Portaflex amps. Push it. I don't know, I haven't really done that with this. Get some rattle. I suppose if we had the brackets, the other part of the bracket to hold the head down, it would rattle less. So let's see how it handles higher volume. I'm at about what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the volume. And let's detune the D. Not bad. Some of the other stuff in the room's rattling. Nice though. JBL puts out a nice tone. It's hitting it. if you notch the, you can't. You really got to have the treble in because it's really like a, you know, a nice mid, high mid. Let's see if I bump the bass all the way up. It's probably better if you notch it back. Obviously, going to get more presence with the treble. That's just the way old tube amps are. Standby, go grab a guitar and show you what a Strat sounds like through it and a Les Paul. Toby back with you. Rick. Got a Strat, American, somewhere in the 90s, early 90s. I'm going to pull the bass back on this amp. I'm going to keep the treble notched up. I'm just going to be right around 4. Off of standby. Tuning with in D, with a low D. So let's just see what we can crank it up a little bit to about what would that be? 3 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to play just some basic, just going to notch it back on the other side of 12 o'clock, input 1, treble on about 5, about 4 with the bass, standby. I'm going to try the second input here. Crank, I'm going to notch the bass back. I'm going to kick it up about where it was before with the Strat.